Okay, this is William Paterson, Piano 2, and if you look on your lesson plan, week-to-week lesson, February 4th, it says test on page 23 in the essential book. That's the minuet. That, of course, is. So that test will occur on February 4th. And then we have E flat major and minor scales. I'll go over that a little bit, just a little bit, because I did it already. E flat major scale. Oh, we're adding the minor scale. Okay, I'll go over it. So look on the scale sheet and you'll find E flat. And E flat starts in three flats. B, E, and A flat. So 3, 1, cross to 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Together. Don't forget 4 is always on B flat. Once you play this, you do the same thing. Backwards, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget to put 4 on B flat. 3 on E flat. 4 on B flat. Okay. It should feel comfortable because when you play D flat, you had 3 on E flat already, 1 on F. It's very similar in feel. Left hand is 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Which makes sense because coming down with the right hand is 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. So going up would be 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget that they're simply mirror image. That's the E flat major scale. The arpeggio, exactly the same as D flat. D flat was D flat, F, A flat, D flat. This is E flat, G, B flat, D flat. 4, 1, 2, 4. I'm on measure 165. Then the left hand is 2, 1, 4, 2. So when 4 is playing, 2 is playing. Thumbs meet on G. And then 2 and 4 are opposites. 2, 4, 2 and 4. Same as D flat. Nothing new. Nothing new at all. You'll play all the chords. The chords are self-explanatory. Major, minor, diminished, augmented. As always, the 6, you add the 6th note of the scale. Minor 6, you flat the 3rd. Major 7. 1, 3, 5, 7. The notes of the scale. The 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th. You flat the 7, it becomes a dominant 7. Lower the 3rd, you got a minor 7. Flat the 5, you've got a half diminished 7, or E flat minor 7 flat 5. And you lower the D flat to D double flat, you have a fully diminished 7. Diminished 7s are all minor 3rds, remember that. The minor scale is a little bit trickier. It's the same fingerings. You just play the flats. Don't forget, it's E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, you raise the D flat to a D natural. You always have that step and a half, the 6th and 7th degree of the harmonic minor scale. Slow, E flat, F, G flat, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. You're making a mistake if you're not looking at the music. If you can look at your fingers and make mistakes and correct them, you're just wasting your time. You got to play the right note before you hit it. You know the note is F, hit it. You know the note is G flat with 2, then hit it. Don't make the mistake and correct it. You've already done something involuntary with your muscle memory that you don't want to do. Left hand is 2, 1, 4, 3, 2. 2, 1, 4, 3, 2. All the black notes are in play, right? All the black notes. But when you get to C flat, of course, that's a white note because C flat doesn't have a black key. Here's the stretch you have to learn. you're playing these scales, you'll notice that thumbs meet on F, threes meet on A flat, thumbs meet, that used to be a C, now it's C flat. So start to look where fingers meet up and connect so that you'll know whether you're right or wrong. The big mistake that I can't tolerate is when you skip a finger. So if you're playing this and you play 2-4 and you skip a third finger, or you play 3-5 and you skip a fourth finger, you don't skip fingers when you play. The fingers go right in a row. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It can't be 1, 2, 4. It just can't be. I see a lot of this stuff, by the way. Especially on the arpeggios, which should be anything because you're covering all the keys. Okay, the E flat arpeggio in 165 was 4-1-2-4, 2-1-4-2. But the E flat minor arpeggio in 278 are the same fingerings as C major. Here's C major. Right? Those are the fingers we use. 5-4-2-1, 1-2-3-5. Same thing on E flat minor. The cross is very difficult because it's a fourth. It's a full fourth on black keys. It's not so hard on white keys. That's not hard at all. But here, you got to get in. So your fingers got to be in on the keys. Don't play out here. Play in. And that'll take care of all the E flat suite of scales, chords, arpeggios, and so on. And again, if you ever have any questions with any of this stuff, just call me. Now on January 28th, you'll have a test. Oh, you already had the test. Sorry, I'm in the wrong place. February 4th, you'll have a test on page 23, which is the. Sorry about that. So February 4th, the test is on the minuet. You will play the E flat major minor scales again, and let's go over the toccatina. Toccatina. It's not hard. It just moves. You have to move. Just lock your fingers in that third position. And you have D minor, a scale, C, a scale, or staccato, in measure 13, the A becomes a pedal point. You don't play it that way, I'm just showing you that that's the pedal point. You can actually start soft and crescendo molto. Molto means very, so you have a very big crescendo. So you start at measure 13. Crescendo, crescendo. And there's a big forte there with an accent mark. Then subito piano, suddenly soft. A little difference in the rhythm, right? G minor, G minor, all A's, 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 another A, and bang this A. Fortissimo, very loud. D, C, Al fine, back to the beginning. I don't need you to play, I don't need that. But if you can play, that's a good tempo. It's got to be staccato, have to hear via dynamics, and no stopping. When you play something for a test, if you stop, you don't know it. It's as simple as that. So that's for February 4th. Now we go on to page 67 in the Harima book. Let's look at 67, and then we're going to start something new. Okay, so page 67, very, very easy piece, the melody on page 67. You put your fingers in an F position. F, G, A, B flat, C, like it did for the march and all the other things that are in the key of F. So the right hand is very simple, simple melody. F, G, A, G, F, A. When I'm reading music, I am not reading every single note like I just did. I see an F, that's all I need for the first measure because they're identical. The next measure, I see a scale going up and a scale coming down. Next measure, I see a chord outline with a descent down to B flat. That's how I read. I very rarely read an alphabetical letter. It takes too long. What if I'm playing? Am I going to read F, E, D, C, B flat? You're not going to do that. You just know you start here. It's a scale. And that's how you do it. The second line, A, up one, back to A, down one, up to A, and back to F. So it sounds like this. Don't forget B flat. Fourth finger too. And as you would expect, a repetition. Pattern. There's a pattern. Left hand is like a little mill. For some of you who know, that C is called a pedal point or a pedal tone. It's a repeated note. I don't care if it's up here or down here. Some people think it's only down here. Pedal point meaning that no matter what chord I play, when you finally finish with all the dissonances, you end up where you're supposed to be on that consonant. But a pedal point can simply be this. And that's what this case is. A, B flat, A, G. So the C doesn't even count. We're just counting the A in the first measure, the B flat in the second measure, A in the third measure, G in the fourth measure. So it's A, B flat, A, G, F, B flat. Now, this is different. If you look at the second line, third measure, there's a scale with the C as a pedal point. And then we go back to it. And that's what it is. The only difference will be the next to the last measure. Very next to the last measure. Otherwise, the whole measure is the same. So it sounds like this. Listen to what happened in that measure. The right hand played F, G, A, left hand played with the pedal point. Very interesting, right? Third line. Don't forget to put your fourth finger always on the B flat unless you can't. And here's where it changes. Next to the last measure. Okay, so not hard at all. Now, here's the last thing we're going to do. For February 9th, you're going to start in the Essentials book on page 56, the arioso. That's like an aria. You all know what an aria is. It's a beautiful part of an opera or an art song where you sing a beautiful melody. Well, that's what this is. This is an aria. Let me see, did we get to everything? Oh, we didn't do 68 on the bottom. I forgot Harima, 68 on the bottom. Let's go back to that for a second while I still have it here. Page 67. Oh, no, I'm sorry, we actually did do it. Melody. Okay, I apologize. I was looking at the wrong one. Let's do what I said, arioso. Arioso. So you're in this Essentials book now. All right, so an arioso, beautiful lyrical melody, and it's basically an easy sounding song, but you have to practice hands separate to get this to work, because in the third line you get to do a little counterpoint where the voices need to be looked at individually. Let me play it for you first and then we'll look at it. So just follow. Adagio. Slowly, beautifully, lyrically. Scale. That's the first part. It lands on a 5 chord. You're in the key of F, it lands on a C, meaning you need to continue. Here's the third line. Scale. Look at the next to the last measure, right hand. There's a little squiggly line over the A. That's called a mordent. M-O-R-D-E-N-T. It's actually an inverted mordent. Don't worry about it, just know mordent. And it needs to play 1 trill. So the A would normally be this, but now it's, you don't have to do it. If you feel you don't want to do that, don't worry about it. You'll just play. But if you play the mordent, it makes it more beautiful. It's as simple as that. So here's the last 2 lines again. Scale. That's it. So let's examine it. Here's the melody. Follow the melody with me. You put your second finger on the A. I know you're in the key of F, but fingerings are now gone. You play the fingering that it says in the book, or a fingering that makes sense to you. Always use the fingering that's given to you. If you hate it, after you do it 5, 10 times, find some other fingering. But usually that's the fingering. So 2, 2, 4, 4, 3. Now, normally, you might have a 2 on G, but now your thumb is on G. So by putting your fingers in a position, you don't move them. Didn't move. Now you have to move, because you have a scale coming down. You got 6 notes of the scale, easy as pie. But now it returns to D. Now look at this pattern. So a note, same note, same note, same note. So the second line is okay. Now you remember the melody on top. The rhythm is quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter, quarter. So this composer took that rhythm and assigned different notes to them. Now in the second line you had that scale. Now you have it again, but a third higher with a pinky. F, A, and a scale. So here's the last line. So you have to learn that. That's tricky. And then a scale. Okay, and the left hand's piece of cake. F, G, E, F. A, G, F, C. Then you have E, F. Some of you haven't played up here yet. That's an E above middle C. Then you have an F. Then you have F sharp and a G. It's a chromatic scale. Very simple. Then D, E, C, F. Then the final cadence is in the last line, F, G, G, C, F, 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 G. I want to play the whole thing for you so you can hear it. I'll play it very slow. I'll try to make it as pretty as I can. I'm going to use the pedal when it calls for it. I wouldn't use the pedal in the second measure because the notes are next to each other. But when you have a chord, you can leave the pedal down for that. Scale. Never use a pedal on a scale. I won't repeat, you will. And now we go to measure 9. Hear that chromatic scale? Very typical of the classical period. Just below the chord of the note of a chord, a little below it, and a resolution. So here's the third line. Scale. And that's it. I believe that we covered everything. So February 4th, the test on the minuet, the E flat major minor scale, not a test, just keep on working it. The tocatina, the new page 67, the melody. And then February 9th is the test on tocatina. The Essentials book, this Arioso that we just started. We're still with the E flat major minor arpeggios, chords, the whole bit. Harima, page 67, that one. And page 68 on the bottom. 68? Did I say 68? Oh, I forgot to give you this. I was right before. We have to do the Harima book. Page 68 on the bottom. On the bottom. So this is a round. The left hand is, and the right hand is the same thing. So very slowly learn hands separate. You hear it? It's always repetitious around. Right hand, same thing. When you put them together, you'll hear a round. You'll play it. In rounds, we just ignore dissonances. We don't worry about that because it's moving so quickly you don't hear it. You don't hear dissonances when you play it without stopping. When you stop, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear that. Now I'm sure I covered everything. So you're all set now, right up to February 4th, and the next time we'll have a video will be for February 11th and the 16th. Any questions, you know you can always call. We'll always have an extra lesson ready for you anytime, any amount of time too. This past weekend I had a ton of lessons. Glad to do it. Very glad to do it.